crowds here. She moved the needle, changed a lot of people's lives, changed a lot of people's careers. You know, what I think is the coolest thing is so often, I think in every profession, we keep chasing what everybody tells us is the ultimate success. And so I hope she gets into the Hall because I think she's one of the most incredible people. The way she coached, how she coached, I've got to see her, you know, front row seat for most of her career. Humble, understood the mission you want to win. But what I really respected is, you know, she went out on her terms, and I think she showed people how to be a champion, unfortunately without the ultimate. I think as she handled the first Final Four and all the shenanigans around it in a split second, all the questions. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget her speech she delivered after we lost to South Carolina last year. Class, leader.
Wanted to ask about the way the first half went. Obviously not the start you guys wanted to have.
I prefer to talk about the second.
Well, you can add on the second half if you want to. Just was there anything in particular that happened in the first half that?
No. I think it's probably my fault. I think I got really tight. I was really, I thought they let it go really physical. Now I lost, but I think I got a little incensed. I think I couldn't believe a possession call. And I think I'm learning, you know, I'm learning and growing. So I could have made them a little bit tight. So I'm going to take that. We got a lot of youth playing a pretty big game. You know, it just, I don't know, I felt really prepared. I'm thankful for the second half because I think that looked like maybe, you know, we were a little more prepared. But in defense of that, you know, you can, you know, the other team also was up by 20. They're probably not as sharp as the start. But I would have to watch the film. But man, we left a lot of unforced errors and left a lot of layups on the table. I think that just is unfortunate. When you're playing a good team, we miss layups. We had some mental miscues. I was trying to do some first time, maybe not real smart. I was trying to mix up some defenses. Maybe we weren't ready for that. And I think that led up to some transition buckets. And, you know, I think it does go back. I've been trying to tell this group, they don't really see themselves as 2 times in a national championship game because a lot of them, you know, 6 are new, but we're getting everybody's shot. Because, you know, Caitlin's number's still on the floor, right? And the memory of that and this crowd. You want to come in as a visitor and you don't want the crowd to sway you. So they shot the ball really, really well. They don't usually shoot it that well from the threes collectively. So I think that was a lot of it.
Just whatever the result today, obviously there was going to be a lot of basketball left. With this group, how do you make this a productive moment?
Well, I'm thankful for the second half because this group, I mean, that's what they did against Tennessee. And we had 31 turnovers that game, right? But they never quit. We could have won the game, the Tennessee game, crazy as that sounds. But it's because they kind of did what they did in the second half, right? Same at Michigan State, you know, we have these different walls. You know, I'm not happy with our starts. We didn't start great at Penn State, and we didn't start great today. And I got to figure out why, right? But the beauty of them is like, I've never lost a huddle, you know, and, you know, over a 32-year career, we've lost a few huddles that you get too hot or, you know, they just look too fearful, that look like deer in headlights. That has not happened, not one time, even when we got down, whatever, real early, and I called that first time out. They usually respond. So I think that, you know, we can kind of build on that. That's what I talked about. I said, I kind of talked about what we did do well, what we need to do better, and what's next. And so what we did do well is we had a great second half when we rebounded. You know, what we need to improve is our starts. and, making some layups, right, under pressure. And what's next is only.
Yeah, Jan, by my count, I think it's 74 turnovers in your 3 losses combined. How, is that a concern for you right now?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, it is. I've kind of tracked, we have a lot of youth making it. What was unfortunate, when we got it to 6, we had had a really bad turnover that led to try to tell them, like, eat the turnover. You don't want a live ball turnover. And we threw it right into the hands of number 2. Michael went down and hit it and went to 8. Got the crowd really into it. So I just need to do a little better job of, trying to maybe put him under a little bit more duress in practice. But yeah, it's a big concern, because if you take I'd say even if you took 5 turnovers off of Tennessee, we might have won it. And that still would have been 26, right? I mean, what might have won it, right? If you take 5 off, we take another 5 off, that'd be 19 at Michigan State. Pretty sure to win that, right? Here, today. So we need to do better entering to the post. That is a concern. We've been really good at that, and we're not that good at it right now. So I gotta figure that out. I'm not spending enough time on it with tension. We're doing it, but I think I need to figure out a way to have a little more attention. I mean, that's the one thing right now. I'm being kind of emotional after a loss, but I'll learn a little bit more with the tape.
Chad.
Yeah, I think 17 of the turnovers from your starting 5, so the veterans.
Absolutely.
Part of that, but
Absolutely.
just turning to the youth, it seems like you earned maybe some trust with the young players today. I guess where are you at with to balance what they're giving you, but also still trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I'll be honest, that this is kind of new territory for me. I'm sure I get a lot of help on social media. I get a lot of people throwing stuff at me. But, you have a lot of youth, and you kind of hope your vets are going to be the ones, crunch time. And so you're learning and you're balancing. So I do think even vet coaches will tell you, when you've been pretty stagnant, 6, 7 players, really been playing the last few years, and now we can maybe, have 9, and try and, do combinations. I think we blew a couple of combinations tonight. I can think of them on the top of my head. We had a rhythm, and then we maybe didn't have the rhythm, but that's a mistake. It's too much into the season now. But yeah, I'm feeling more and more confident with the youth. I think they can really help us, and this team's really selfless. I mean, they're beating themselves up, just as much as I am. I mean, not quite as much, but I know they really care, and they're selfless. So they're figuring it out, but I think we constantly are too. But I liked a lot what I saw of our youth, because I do think, our vets, we did have some uncharacteristic things that you can't really have to start a game. Right?
Adam. So going back to getting the ball into the post, I know plus minus is a pretty noisy stat, but Addie was a minus 19 tonight, and it looked like a lot of the turnovers were trying to get the ball into her. Is that, I mean, is a minus 19, did that sort of accurately reflect the struggles that your team's having when she was on the floor? And is that really where most of your struggles were, getting the ball into the post?
Yeah, I think we, on the fast break in the first half, we tried to go, throw it up, and then we stare, and then we're going to try to make a pass, and it was like, errant, right? I didn't want to enter from the wing. I wanted to go top it in. And if you remember the third quarter, we were doing a lot of action that was top it in, and I think that's a little better for us right now. And I think part of that was, and plus minus, also, but they were really, that first half, they were really rebounding pretty hard on Abby too. So defensively, she had to work kind of harder, and the rebounding, and then if you're not getting it to her, she can't be as productive. So yes, I would have liked to have done more of what we did in the second half, the first half, but it was just, I think, the pressure, we kept trying to throw it from the wing, and that was my least desirable spot, but good pass. I think Taylor made one to start the second half, Strenlow into maybe Hayden, that was pretty good. So we do have to get better at that, but that's probably a very strong correlation.
Mike?
Maryland's back to being Maryland, it looks like. What do you think of them?
I don't think they're really great. I think Brenda's a tremendous coach. I think when you have, I think 4 of our players are portal players, and when you get it right, and you get some great portal people, and you can get that chemistry going pretty quick. The beauty of that is their experience, and they're older, but they're not just older, they've been somewhere and it hasn't been great, right? They chose, right, to leave. So you kind of have the disappointments, the setbacks. So they're a little seasoned, right? So then when they get here and you got a really good coach and they're really enjoying it, they've had so many battle scars, mentally, emotionally, physically, that when it's starting to really feel good, man, you get the best of them. And Marilyn, or Brenda, is doing a really good job with this team. They're good kids. They're found a great home. And so you get instant experience. And, one came from, UConn and by way of Arkansas. So they've been in places like this. And so there's a little different chip and edge, right? When you get it rolling. And, I'm really happy for her because she's, it does look like her teams of more of the past when they've been Maryland. So I think that's a bonus of that when it works. And that too, Michael used to be at Rutgers, so she's been a really great addition. She was really great at Rutgers. So yeah, I think she's just done a really good job on her staff.
Zach?
Yeah, Coach. What does it say about this group, given the mixture of talent, veteran talent, young talent? What does it say that they were able to, come very close to a historic comeback after being down by 24 points?
That's what I talked to her about halftime. I just said, hey, I think I blew it for you. I got a little bit tight. Maybe you're not used to seeing me like that. I said, but I've been part of a 24-point comeback before. I said, I'm really feeling like if you can cut this thing. I said, but you got to know I'm not just telling you this to just save it. And I felt those eyes. I really did. And I said, it's going to be harder than heck. I said, it's going to be really, really hard. We got to get stops upon stops upon stops. And that when we got it to 6, I would have, crystal ball, I would have liked to seen if we could have hit something. Because this place, got pretty loud for us. So I was really pleased because you can't really do what we did, even if Maryland was on their heels, if they didn't really dig in and believe it too. And that's why they're fun to coach. It wasn't so fun, right? In the beginning when we were looking like we, weren't prepared. But I do like that resilience. And, that's the thing. If you handle a loss right, it can really be helpful. And I'm just trying to, make sure we handle it right, me included. And I think if we handle it right, we can draw on it. We can draw in the second half when we get into another dogfight later on. But what I really want to do is make sure we don't dig a hole like that, especially at home. That's the thing that's perplexing.
Thanks, Jan.